What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Cejudo, aka Triple C.
A Shadowline production.
Henry. Wow. UFC 305 went down last night from Perth, Western Australia. And it was a really good card, I would say. A really, really good card, capped off by the middleweight title in Dricus Du Plessis, defending that belt against former two-time middleweight champion Israel Adesanya. It was as advertised. It was a fight that was built up completely. It was really, really big build up, and the fight delivered. We saw some back and forth momentum changes, and eventually Dricus was able to get the takedown, sink the hooks in, and get the submission. Henry, where were you watching this? And how did you think about the fight? How did you take it?
Yeah. First and foremost, Kamaru. I mean, you're a smart man. I think you knew better than to bet the Triple C because you're about to have, a couple eggs crack on that shiny head of yours. But this fight, it did deliver. And I tell you what, the person that really surprised me too, was Israel Adesanya. I mean, he went out there. He looked so good that first round with his fakes, his feints. He was doing a lot of reads. But I just felt like after the first round, like there wasn't a lot of risk taken on Israel's side. And then as the fight kind of went a little bit closer, or a little bit, as the fight started getting more towards the end, I feel like the gas tank of Israel Adesanya started kind of diminishing and going down. But Israel was doing a really good job with his fakes, with his feints, defending the takedowns, getting up, invested in the body. I mean, he was doing such a good job that I don't even think Israel really knew the fact that how he was breaking down Dricus Du Plessis DDP, but he was doing a really good job going to the body. But I just feel like there's something that comes with Dricus that's just different. Like he's kind of like unstable. He you know what I mean. He's unstable. Like he's not necessarily crisp and smooth. He's not necessarily a sniper. He's just a goer. But he was able to get those takedowns, and he did hurt Israel Adesanya with that overhand, and then pretty much you saw Israel kind of stumble a little bit, and then that takedown. Once you're weak or whatnot in the knees, and that takedown just did it. It's not like he was super smooth as jiu-jitsu. I mean, he went in there, took him down. Israel fell to his hip, and it's almost like there was no urgency with Israel. Like I could have, he could have been in a position where he could have gone out a little bit early, but he kind of just stayed there. So I'm not sure if it's father time, what people say, but Israel was doing such a good job, and then all of a sudden, I personally felt like the fight was going towards his side, Kamaru, but then all of a sudden it was just Israel lost. That's my assessment. He was doing really, really good, investing the body very well, and then that was it.
Yeah, I think you have to. It happens like that sometimes, and I think you have to give credit where credit is due. In Dricus Du Plessis, there's moments in there to where he really showed his mixed martial arts savvy, and you will see it because he's not the sharpest, he's not the cleanest, but there's there's just got to be power. I remember, I think I it's been a while, it's been a few years, but I sparred him way back in the day, and I don't remember. I always remembered. I always knew he hit hard. He swings hard, but now I feel like he's confident in that power to where if you really watch him, when he throws those big shots, both legs aren't on the ground. This guy must have some power because both legs aren't planted on the ground. He's almost leaping into the shots. Henry, you see him leaping into the shots to where it seems like those shots are hurting his opponents whenever he connects those shots. But what really did it for me is his all around savviness in the game. Because if you see in the times where he gets the takedown, he instantly advances to the next dominant position. It's takedown, hook, over backpack. Takedown, hook, backpack, taking the cage away, or looking for the choke. And you could see it in that finishing sequence there. It was almost he hit Israel with a couple of big shots to where he had Israel hurt a bit. And then once he got the takedown, it was immediate. It was almost like while Israel was hurt, he just couldn't. You know, when you're hurt, you're not firing that fast to understand that I need to defend the next move and the next move and the next sequence. To where it was almost because of Israel being hurt in that sense. He got the takedown, instantly moved to the next position, hook in, backpack on the choke, to where it was almost Israel reacted late to figure out that, hey, oh no, I'm in a bad position now. Oh, I need to look for the hands, but hands aren't there. And he's looking, hands aren't there. And then it's next thing you know, he's tapping. As you see him here, he's just chasing him. Hook, he hurts him. He takes down right away, hooks in, and Israel, boom. Before I know it, he's already around the neck. And, oh, let me find the hands. Where are the hands? Where are the hands? They're not there. And next thing you know, it's too late. So hats off to Dricus Du Plessis. I mean, he just showed that he is. Now you have to give him that respect. He is. Of course, I always respected him as he's the champion. But now everyone has to put some respect on his name as the middleweight champion of the world, because he went out there and did it.
I'm actually going to go a little further than that, Kamaru. You're gonna, not only you have to call him the middleweight champion of the world, but you're gonna have to call him the king of Africa now. Come on, man.
No, why?
Am I hitting?
Why?
Am I hitting the?
Why would you? Okay, but explain. Why would you say that?
Because that was the whole debate, Kamaru. That
What
was the whole
debate?
debate of him. Well, that was the whole thing on who is the real African, I guess, quote unquote. And I don't think it has to do anything with race really. Like, because I also understood where Dricus was coming from. It's like, hey, I'm born here, I'm raised here. Yeah, it's like I'm another breed. And I think he was saying that quote unquote, I'm the true African champion. You know what I'm saying? I think that was like the big. Anyways, this is the whole marketing thing, but
But
overall,
okay, but no, I want to just
I
kind
said
of
I don't want to hit any
I want
strings
to.
here, Kush.
You did because I saw the debate to where it got to, for me, it was a little untasteful. It was a little untasteful. Well, not a little, very untasteful, because this is how the division continues to how the division is continuously perpetuated. Is how can you, was Israel born in Africa? Yes. Was he raised in Africa? Yes. Until his family moving him out to look for an opportunity. Now, we can try to not say race all we want to and not say race all we want to, but if there's anything that we know, especially being in America right now, Henry, you and I, if there's one thing that we do know, is that the color of your skin does play a part. Yes or no? It does.
When we talk about America, though, Kamaru, America's the world, bro. You have Chinese Americans, Mexican Americans.
But Henry,
You have.
you're
I'm
absolutely
gonna have
right.
to. I'm gonna have
You're
to.
absolutely right. You're absolutely
I'm
right.
gonna have to.
But is there
I'm
a
gonna have to
difference?
disagree with you.
Okay, so you're disagreeing that the way that the color of your skin does not play an impact in the quality of life.
Not in America, man. I don't think so. I think that's all subjective. I think that's. I mean, look at a guy like LeBron James. Look at
Hold
a
on one
guy
second.
like.
Okay, so you're telling me if you get pulled over or
I
one of
really
our
can't answer.
producers gets pulled,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you have to answer that, because
I
we
will.
already opened the can of
I will.
worms. You're trying to say that if we got pulled over, you got pulled over, or I got pulled over, we will be treated the exact same way.
I can't answer that because I'm not black.
I'll
Dude.
answer it for you.
And
I'll answer it for you. Absolutely not. We will not be. So let me just answer that for you. We will not be. And so tying that back into this is wanting to clear. I understand it was a whole marketing thing for Dricus Du Plessis, which he might have not necessarily meant it the way that Israel might have taken it all the way, but you have to be careful because it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. You have to be careful with what you say, because now we're in a position to influence the masses in the world. So with power, I say it all the time, with great power comes great responsibility. When you have that platform and you have that mic in your hand, you have to be careful what you say. It's just like people treating you different, saying, oh, you're not real Mexican because you're an American. That's not true. you understand that you respect your heritage, Henry, and so we
Yeah, of
have to pay.
course.
We have to pay homage to that. So to say, "Oh, I'm the real African,"
No.
that's completely crazy. And for you to say that a perpetual, "Oh, he's the real African king," I know you're just joking, but it's not. This is how the division continues to be perpetuated. Dricus Du Plessis is the 4th African champion right now. So there's 4 horsemen. 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
So we've
Yeah. No.
moved on from the 3 kings to where now it's 4 horsemen. So to continue to perpetuate this whole African king or this or that, that's ridiculous. And that's why hopefully we can get Dricus on the show so he can continue. He could talk more about that and clarify that, because I feel like people are twisting his word to where everyone is carrying on that, hey, Dricus is an African champion. He's the African champion because everybody wants to be funny because he's white. And that's completely wrong. He's an African, 100%. Is he a champion?
But
100%.
that's exactly my point, Kamaru. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly my point. If the whole, I mean, the whole skit was about who is the king of Africa. I mean, it's what it is, man. Like I don't want to, I don't want you to think that I'm also freaking first of all, it's a storyline. Like, it's cool. There's a guy that was born and raised. There's a guy that was born there that is black, that was raised somewhere else. So I can also see where a lot of this was kind of taken out of context, or these guys decided to kind of fight or whatever. But at the same time, too, come on, it's not like I look fucking French, dude. Like, you don't think that, you think I look Italian, dude?
No, exactly.
Like
So
like
if you
like
were
you know what I'm saying? So
if you were in France, do you think they would treat you different?
I was just in France. France is just like America, bro. It's a melting pot. It's flooded with different cultures and colors, where you can be an Arab French, and you probably don't even speak fucking Arabic. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of Mexicans that are from Mexican descent that are in the United States that don't speak a lick of English, but oh, I'm Mexican. I'm like, okay, so tell me where you were born, and then tell me where you were raised. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, that this is a whole nother subject,
It
Kamar.
is,
That
and it
that
seems
that you're
like
right. You're right. I would love for a guy like Dricus to be on it, not for my sake, but maybe for your damn sake. Because to me it's just all fun and games, dude. And it's like it's these
you're
guys.
right. I
These
understand
guys.
that.
These guys were able to shake hands, a black and a white man, enough through race, and a black man, and they were able to say, "Hey, man, we did this." Like, at the end of the day, you know who won? Africa won. And like I said, man, I wasn't trying to hit any
You did.
heartstrings over here.
No, you did because you did, and the reason you did, Henry, is just because that's the world
But
that
that's
we
been the
that's the world that
narrative,
we live
Kamaru.
in. Yeah,
But that's been the narrative, man.
narratives are wrong. It's wrong, and that's what we're trying to correct.
But
There's too much
narratives,
hate. There's
yeah,
too much
no,
hate.
of
There's too much
course.
hate out there, and that's what we're trying
But
not to perpetuate. So
I
yes, you're
agree.
right.
I
Africa
agree
won.
100%. I agree 100%. This is why when people say I'm an American, I'm an American, they call me a sellout. Like, oh no, you're Mexican. I'm like, well, I wasn't born there. I wasn't raised there. That's my heritage. But how can I say I'm something that I'm not? It's out of respect for the people of Mexico. Dude, I go down to Mexico. Fucking my family calls me a gringo. It's like, oh yeah, that's that gringo. That's that. That's Nelly's son. Yeah, his Spanish is all right. Like, it's not 100%. He's a
Yeah,
poser.
yeah,
Like, you
no,
know what I'm saying?
I get it. And culturally, we'll dive more into this. Hopefully, we get Dricus on the show to where I truly want to talk about this, because I think it's something that is extremely important. I mean, the whole pandemic and riots and situations of that is based on this exact subject, where we saw that in the whole world and how the world was feeling. So, I would like to just talk more about it with him. But going back onto the fight, I think we have to give our props to Dricus Du Plessis, because I saw a little clip of the work. I saw a little piece of the work when he would come down here to Florida and train with Henry Hoof over at H Kickboxing. We got a chance to move around a bit, so I know this guy's been putting in work for years, and to see him to see everything come to full flourishing of him being a middleweight champion and defending that belt against the best ever middleweight champion. It's amazing. hats off to him. And this is what I mean by what I'm saying, Henry, is before that fight, I tweeted and I posted a picture. I posted pictures and I tweeted. And in the caption, it said, I believe Africa wins. And if you go on my Twitter, it's just so much. Oh yeah, yes, this and that, and I'm just like, Africa wins. Period. So Dricus is a great African champion. I mean, carrying that forward, and basically just bringing that continent, just continue to carry that flag for our continent. So it's ooh, you see me in that shirt? You see that shirt? Hey, scroll back up there. Ooh, with that lace joint. Woo! With the lace joint.
That looks like a freaking. That looks like
Don't
a
you say
Victoria's
it.
Secret. That looks
Don't
like
you say it. Pause, and I gotta pause you right there. You know, that's your first pause of the day. I gotta pause you right there. But all in all, fantastic fight. And Henry, for where does Israel go from here? What do you think? Because a lot of people were thinking he was going to retire. But you saw him at the end. He said, "I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving." So
yeah.
and
And I get it, bro. Because I've been in these positions all the time. I think if he was to get dominated, I think he'd really want to maybe call it quits. You know, because his legacy. I tell you what, dude. I am a bit of an Israel hater, but I am a fan, dude. For a guy that doesn't have the level of grappling, that doesn't come from wrestling like we have, Kamaru, to be able to do what he's done, beating guys like Romero, Robert Whitaker a couple times I was there, Paulo Bohachini in the fashion that he did. I mean, I got a lot of respect for that dude. So sometimes even when Israel loses, I kind of get a little bummed out, dude. Like I really do because he's great for the sport, man. He's flashy. He hypes it up. Yeah, sometimes he might be the king of cringe. He's saying some crazy shit sometimes, or doing some crazy shit. But at the end of the day, man, he gives back to the sport. He brings a lot of eyes, and you have to respect that. But that moving forward for a guy like Israel, I think he's still there. I think the next person maybe in line is maybe he gets a fun fight and maybe he does a rematch with Paulo Bohachina. I think he does a fight with Paulo and he waits for the winner of Dricus and Strickland. He beats him, and he's back in the title picture again. That's the beauty about being part of the UFC is it's narratives. So to going back to can you create storylines? So even going back, and I don't want to kind of dig into it a little bit more, but even going back to the whole thing with Africa, there was a storyline, a narrative that was there, and I think Israel gets it. He understands it, and I think he could pull that off. So if I'm Israel Adesanya, I'm looking to fight. I'm looking to fight a guy, a troll in Paulo Bohachina to get to do a rematch, Mr. Secret Juice, a winnable fight for him, and then he just waits and sees and hopes that a guy like Sean Strickland wins, and then boom, he's at the title once again.
uh,
Am I too far off, Kush? Am I too far off?
you're not too
Dude,
far
I
off.
don't want you attacking me this whole damn
No,
episode,
no,
dude. You know,
you
'cause, dude,
I never
I
attacked
gotta,
you.
I gotta shank
wanted
you. I gotta
clarification.
shank, man. You know, you wanna Mexicans and blacks, dude. We
Hey,
know
no, don't go
we
there.
known
Don't
for
go there.
this.
Don't go there. Okay, but what you're saying is why would we go Bohachina, who has lost to Israel Adesanya, has lost to Sean Strickland, has lost to Robert Whitaker. Why would we go to Bohachina when you
Because stylistically, because he's done it already before.
yeah,
Because
but
you don't want to give Israel this time. At the end of the day, Kamaru,
give him new blood. Give him something that's going to be intriguing. And there's intriguing fights right now. You've got the
yeah,
French
yeah,
dude
no, but
Imavov. That is going to be a fantastic fight. You've got Khamzat Chimaev, which was the buildup for potentially that middleweight title picture when Israel
that's
was
not a good.
champion.
That probably wouldn't be a
Those
good
are
fight for
those
Israel.
are
But go
those
ahead.
are huge. Those are fantastic fights. Those are huge, and those are amazing fights to where I actually think you can't say that's not a good fight because we've had this debate before, and we both agree that what happens when Israel Adesanya gets back up from Khamzat Chimaev? What happens when he's able to not get taken down, stand there, and starts to sharpshoot? We had
Yeah.
that debate before.
No, no,
So
no,
I
one
like
hundred
his
percent. So
chances.
here, go back up, Ryan. I'm gonna go ahead and read, guys, the top five, middleweights. Sean Strickland #1, Israel Adesanya, who's #2, Robert Whitaker at #3, Imavov, yeah, you're right, at #4, Cannonier #5. Yeah, I like that. I think screw everything that I just said. I'm with you, Kamaru. I think he goes Imavov.
Imavov, that's a fantastic fight. Both guys are strikers. I think that's
Yeah,
the fight.
yeah, I think that, yeah, of course, and then hopefully he waits and sees what happens with the guy like Sean Strickland. If Sean Strickland wins, the UFC's giving him that rematch, and it's simple.
No, Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is next in title. He's already just beat Bohachinian, so he doesn't have a fight scheduled, I don't believe. But look at you. You've got guys like Brandon Allen. You know, shout out to Brandon Allen. You've got guys like Brandon Allen. You've got guys like Marvin Vittori. Obviously, Israel has beat him twice. Brandon Allen is there. So you and Hamza Chimaev, yes, although he is sitting at 11, that guy is maybe 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot. So we can't, and we know that he is the biggest hype in that division. And I hate to use the word hype because he is a skilled fighter, but he's the biggest one. Whenever a Hamzat fight is announced, there's a lot of buzz behind it. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
Exactly. So Hamzat Chimaev going out there and finishing 1 or 2 more guys, oh, he's fighting for the title. I'm telling you, he's fighting for the title. So let's agree. We're thinking the next, if he has to fight, the next fight is Nasruddin Imavov. Should Imavov get past, I believe, Brandon Allen? I believe they're scheduled to fight.
Really?
I believe Imavov and Brandon Allen are scheduled to fight. So
Yeah, no, for sure. No, no, I like that. I like that. I'm not mad at it. But the other thing that Israel could do too is he's got fights he's got fun fights maybe at light heavyweight, dude. I know he's always talked about it. I mean, he's gonna. I mean, there's a cool fight with him and Jamal Hill. I mean, they're both strikers. This shit ain't far fetched. If he picks the
That's
right
true.
fight,
That's true. But he said it yesterday.
Like Poltan has, like, man, he can fucking fight for the for the light heavyweight strap too. You know, go after a guy like Yuri Prohashka. Why not? He's only gonna strike.
Speaking of Poatan, he throws his name in the mix again. I mean, this is just brilliant from him. This is brilliant. You just announced your fight, but there's an opportunity for you to throw your name in the hat again, which just brings more and more, the algorithm brings more attention to you to where more people now are speaking your name. So now he's saying there's a possibility that he might come down.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then they're gonna skip Sean Strickland. They're going to skip him because the bigger name, the UFC the UFC, they always want to get these big fights, especially if they're both champions. And another thing that Potan is doing, because I don't know what's going on with him and find a guy like Khalil Roundtree. I like Khalil. He's a hell of a dude, but knowing a little bit of his history, the fact that he's #8, I don't know, I forget who his last opponent is, but dude, they're just he at the end of the day, man, he's dodging Ankalaev, man. He's dodging a guy. He's dodging a guy that's just
Well,
that's
what is that
a
his fault?
complete. It could be he could influence it. I mean,
How?
why Khalil Roundtree? Why Khalil Roundtree? When
I
you have the #2 contender in the world that he has not fought, and everybody wants to see that fight, and everybody truly do believes that yes, a guy like Alex Pereira does have the belt, but does it mean he's the best in the world? Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be a UFC champion, but it doesn't mean you're #1 in the world. And I feel like a lot of, and this is where we had this conversation, Kamaru. I can see why you don't put a guy like Alex Pereira in the top 5 pound for pound, because he's strictly being given guys that are just benefiting his style. I want to see him tested. I want to see him tested against a guy that could wrestle, a guy that could strike, a guy that's a very well-rounded striker, man. The only fight that I could think of was against the Polish Power, but the Polish Power had even lost to Ankalaev. He actually even admitted it. Like, dude, I don't know how or why this fight went into a draw, but whatever that may be, um, there's a lot of drama going on at light heavyweight. And there's a lot of, there's gonna be, if there's drama at light heavyweight, it's gonna be more drama at 185 pounds because Sean Strickland could get skipped if Alex Pereira says, "Hey, I'm going down to 185 pounds once again to recapture my title."
I get that, and it is what it is. I don't think, obviously, us being champions before, I don't think it's solely Alex Pereira saying, "Yeah, I don't want to fight that guy," or "I don't want to fight that guy." I think it's. I think when the company's, like you mentioned, the company's going to do what's ultimately best for them and what's great for everyone. So I don't necessarily believe that, hey, it's fully strictly him saying I want that guy. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's the fight that's been announced, and if he decides that he wants to go down, yes, not only will Sean Strickland potentially not get the shot, but also the guy that's rightfully deserving of it, which even Dricus Du Plessis mentioned, Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker is going out there. He's taking all the heads that he's being given and he's knocking them all out. And so I believe that he is the rightful next guy for that title. But with that all being said, we'll go to our co-main event. This one's one that I want to say shocked me, but didn't shock me. Kai Kara-France, man. I mean, for a guy that's, I guess you would say, for his what he lacks in height, he makes up for it in intelligence, because this man understood that. This man understood that I might be the shorter man, I might have the shorter reach, but you know what? Instead of throwing one or two shots, I'm gonna throw three or four. Continue that combination, and eventually I will get myself to the target and I can potentially get that finish. And he does such a great job of lateral movement, setting himself when he's ready. See that? He'll throw that 1-2. I'm still out of range. Follow up. And if I need to throw a fifth or a fourth or fifth shot, I'm going to follow up again. And what just an amazing job lining him up, getting Steve Ercig to line up. And Steve Ercig, fantastic fighter as well. Great stance, great distance control. But Kai Kara-France, I mean, the power in this man's hand. Henry, I was low-key scared for you. I know this ain't your weight class no more, but I was low-key scared. I was like, babe, Henry, these dudes might get a hold of you and they might have to put hands on you.
Yeah, but who knows, man? I may be coming back down, Kush.
Sit,
But
relax.
that but
Relax.
that being said, Kai Kara France, you can tell there's Steve Ercig, he's dangerous, man. Like as you said, Kush, he has good range. He's a great technical fighter. But there's one thing that he was doing wrong, and he kept just going straight back. And if you notice what Kai did, he did it a few times, and he was catching him. He never really made that adjustments. Rather than him, like maybe a guy like Ercig moving out laterally, he kept going back, and that's what allowed Kai Kara France to be able to throw that right hand, step through with it, and then eventually catch him with that left. So it was a risk that Kai was willing to take, and it worked out for him. But if it wasn't for that fight, man, dude, I felt like Steve Ercig was getting the better of him. More technical strikes, controlling the range and the distance a little bit more. But as you said, Kai Kara France is a dog, man. He proved us both wrong. We both thought that Ercig was going to win, but Kai Kara France did it. And do I believe that he deserves the next title shot? 100%. 100%. He just beat the guy that a lot of people thought he'd beat, a guy like Alexander Pantoja. Give him the fight. I was there. I was actually coaching Tough 24 when Kai Kara France and Alessandro Pantoja, they ended up fighting. So I was able to watch these guys fight. It was a very close fight, but this was back in 2016. I mean, we're talking about 8 years later. Now these guys are everybody's still fighting. I think it's time to have a reunion and have these guys fight once again.
I agree. I wanted to disagree in because of just we haven't seen him in action very, very often lately. And so coming off of a loss, I believe, in Kai, and then being able to go in there and do that with Steve Ercig. I would have liked to see more before just throwing him into a title shot. But you're right, Henry. I can't disagree with you. He made a case for himself coming off of 2 losses. He made a case for himself as when you go out there and you stop the guy that just challenged for the title and potentially, arguably, could have went either way in winning that title. I think that that's definitely deserving of a title shot, and so I won't disagree with you. I think, yeah, I wanted to say give him a guy like Manel Kopp, but with Manel Kopp stinking up the bed like that in that last fight, I say now Manel Kopp fights Steve Ercig for who's next for that title shot after Kai Kara-France fights Alexander Pantoja. And why not? Put him on the same card. If Steve Ercig, with respect, if he's healthy enough and he's willing to jump in back in, I say why not? Manel Kopp, Steve Ercig, Kai Kara-France versus Alexander Pantoja.
Oh, well, there you have it, dude. Yeah, we have to be careful, man. You might take the damn matchmaker's
I
job
like
because
that.
you're too good.
I like that. Go ahead and throw me another check, Dana. But hey, that was an incredible co-main event. But we move down to this fight, and this is I think this was potentially fight of the night. Besides, obviously, Israel Adesanya and Dricus Du Plessis. But I think other than that, I think this is the fight of the night. Dan the Hangman Hooker taking on Mateusz Gamrot. And I told you, Henry, I did say this man is dangerous. This man has a tendency to win these kind of fights because he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's just having fun in there. And you saw it going into that 3rd round. He's sitting on the stool. And you know what my man said? Coach is just trying to get his attention. They're trying to give him water. They're trying to talk to him. My man just looks up with cuts all over his face and he says, man, I love this shit. I love this shit, man.
Damn.
My man
God,
said,
please.
I love this shit. Hey. Shout out to Dan the Hangman Hooker. I mean, this man had a lot of ups and downs in his career, but he continues to go in there and give incredible fights. And I'm not mad at the decision. I give it. Gamrot was doing a good job of getting the takedown, but he was just control. He wasn't landing any strikes. He didn't put himself in position to potentially try to finish the fight. And then when they were standing, Dan Hooker was having his way with those body shots.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at the decision. It could have gone either way, but I'm not mad at it, Henry.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, I will say this about I like Dan. I think he's doing I like the new Dan with the new tattoos. You know what I'm saying? So I am gonna go back. I'm no longer gonna call him, cheap, but I'm gonna call him a one-legged. The one-legged hooker. He was able to get up, and a lot of those guys at City Kickboxing, do they do a good job of going here, but also getting up to their feet, just like Israel, just like that we've seen. This even Kai's a guy that's able to get up too from bottom, and I think that's the base of MMA. Can you, if you get taken down from bottom, can you get up? When you're on top, can you hurt somebody? But then again, then you have those guys that are. But then again, can you defend a lot of these other techniques too? So it's a lot more complicated than that is. But that being said, I mean, honestly, I thought this was a perfect matchup for a guy on paper, for a guy like for like Gamrot, but the new Dan is different. He's got the new tats. I don't know who hurt him, but whatever it is, he's doing something right, and he was able to get the victory. He proved me wrong.
But the one thing, though, that I thought, and it just shows that he's just in a position to where he just loves the job. He just loves what he does. He loves fighting, to where I felt that he squandered an opportunity at the end there. He squandered an opportunity to give a clear, concise call out after that fight, because when you put on an incredible fight like that and the world is at your fingertips, they're like salivating to hear who you're gonna pick next, who you want to rumble with next. And you said, I want everybody. I want the title. I want the BMF title. I want this. I want that. I didn't get a clear consent answer of who you wanted, so the world can start helping you get that opponent and saying, hey, yes, that fight. But nonetheless, fantastic job. Dan Hooker, My man. And Henry, quick question. Quick answer. Who would you like to see him fight next?
Talking about Dan
Dan
Hooker.
Hooker.
Man, I think this fight with Gamrot. I felt like that was Gamrot only has 3 losses, dude. He's 23-3. Um, I think this was his third loss for a guy like that. But if I'm looking at the top 10, if let me see, I'll probably put him up against a guy like Benir Dariush. I think or a Rafael Fiziev. I think Fiziev would be an awesome fight, would be a banger. It would be on the feet. There's a lot of fun fights. You got that Moicano fight too. I mean, there's the 155 pounds. I think he can choose anybody within that top 15. That'll be extremely extremely fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of names in there of potential opponents for him, and we'll wait to see what happens. But hey, Henry, Bam Bam Tuivasa taking on Jairzinho Rozenstruik. First of all, I'm going to let you give your assessment on this fight. What did you think about this fight?
Yeah, man, I tell you what, the person that I was impressed with was really Rosenstrike, dude. I let you know how good Francis Ngannou is, man, because this dude is very diverse with the striking, from knees to kicks. Like the way he mixes his striking, man, my respects, dude. I think Rosenstrike he's a hell of a striker, dude. But I go back and I want to think how good Francis is to be able to knock this dude out within the first freaking 45 seconds, but he's really good. He's very technical, and the dude could last. I mean, the dude, he's smart, dude. He's a very smart fighter. I was super impressed. I think what Tai Tuivasa did his best. I mean, this is a very technical heavyweight match that I really enjoyed. But I think the biggest thing that I'm gonna say is you got to be careful where you fight, dude, because one judge had it 30-27 for Tai Tuivasa. Yeah, did he hit him? Yes. Did he win a round? Probably not. But that's just the way it is, man. I think even going back to that Dan Hooker fight, like, that third round dude was Gamrot's, and I mean, how many judges were able to give it to a guy like Dan? So not taking anything away from that, because I saw both. I mean, the fight could have gone either way, but scoring and judging could be a little tricky, and particularly when you're in a fan favorite environment. And I think Ty did his best. Ty complete he lost 30-27, but somehow one judge had it 30-27 for Ty, and I'm just sick.
I
I'm just sick to even
I
think
agree. There
about
was
it.
a couple of fights where it could have been it was 30-27 to where I was like, wait, I know for a fact this guy lost a round, and the judges gave him all round. So yeah, I think this judging system has to get a little bit better because it shouldn't be that big of a disparity. But nonetheless, Jairzinho Rozenstruik was able to just footwork, able to keep moving his feet, able to use that jab, and a couple of times it looked like he had Tai Tuivasa hurt, but it shows the durability of Tai Tuivasa to stay in there, and it was a decision. But heads off to Rozenstruik now, I believe on a 2 or 3 fight win streak. So now we move into my favorite of the night so far. My favorite fight. I was shocked. A lot of surprises in this fight. You're my boy Carlos Prates. It don't matter how you say his name. My dog.
I'm practice.
Hey, my dog came in. Hey, first and foremost, I had to do a little digging on my dog, and you realize, hey, my dog speak English. We thought he didn't speak no English because I think I've seen a fight where he had a translator in there. He speaks English well. Came in bumping that Ross. Yeah. Did you hear him? Did you hear about it?
Did he?
Hey.
Did he? What did he come out to push it to the limit?
Nah. Is that the only Ross song you know, bro? Jesus.
Man, that's the one that might be the only Ross song that I like, but yeah.
He came in bumping that Ross. Hey, he cool. He a cool dude. Went in there and he was dangerous. And he delivered action. I mean, going to just looking at how comfortable he was in there. how sharp he was in there. I mean, there was a point where he's slipping shots like this. He's rolling with shots. He bouncing around. Look, my man looked good. He looked good in there. And I think there's some up and coming welterweights. Like it's like, wow, this guy's a welterweight. Look how big he looked compared to Li Jingliang and Jingliang. I know I'm butchering that last name, but uh we're talking about Prates, and he did a phenomenal job being able to bounce in and bounce out, keep Lee on the end of the shots, and when he was able to find the mark, I mean, dang, this was probably I would say, one of the most devastating knockouts that we've seen this year, and we've seen some really, really good ones. I would say this one has to be close to top 10 that we've seen this year.
Yeah, right. What not just that Kamaru, but man, even prior to the knockout, he was hurting him, bro.
Mm.
I was really surprised that the referee just stood there. I was just like, this is gonna have to stop it from just the punishment and the damage that a guy like Carlos Pratas is. He reminds me of a lot like Alex Pereira, lanky, very his composure. He likes to hurt people. He presses people. He kicks straight punches. Um, the dude is dangerous, man. The dude is very, very dangerous, and he's a big ass middleweight. I mean,
Welterweight.
I'm sure the UFC's already. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The people are the welterweight. I'm sure the UFC's already thinking, all right, man. Let's do the same thing that we did with Alex Pereira. Let's give him the right matchups. You know what I'm saying? Because we still don't know how good he is being tested wise on the grappling. And as you know, a lot of these jiu-jitsu, a lot of Brazilians are really good at jiu-jitsu, but
Mm.
with MMA, it's different with that top wrestling. But the way that he's able to surgically take his time, break people down, and hit him with straight punches, like he'd punish Lee from round one until the finish came. The dude's dangerous. If I'm a welterweight and the UFC tries to match me up with him and I'm a striker, I ain't taking that damn fight. But if I'm a welterweight and I know how to wrestle, I'd be like, hey, you know what? Give him to me. Give him to me. Let me put him in a position that he's never been before. But he's a dangerous dude, Kamaru. He's a dangerous, dangerous dude. And I feel like there could be another superstar in the making in
I
this guy.
agree. I do disagree with you. I don't think he's anything like Alex Pereira, and I think he's different. He's a special guy with the way that he's able to set up knees to the liver, put you down, to the way that that left hand is long. That left hand come from and he's also really, really good at throwing it from the angle to where it's a missile that's still going, still, and it gets there. And can we just let's just let's talk about Lee's ability to not get his hands up. To not get his hands up. Even when he was taking shots. Hands do not come up. I don't see hands go
Yeah.
like this. Let's protect our face. Is look at that. Look at that. Hands do not look. I'm really hurt, severely hurt here. But look at hands. Look at hands. Look at hands. Where are my hands? Look at hands. I'm taking shots. Where are hands? Where are hands? Look at this. I'm against the cage taking shots. Where are hands? Whoa. There's a
Yeah.
reason you have these
Yeah.
is to protect yourself, defend yourself. And he just couldn't get his hands up. And he was just like, once he started sniping, jeez. I like this guy. I like this kid. And he's I got a new favorite, I think, up and coming in that welterweight division. I got a new guy that I like that I'm gonna keep my eye on because he's doing the right things. I like this dude. I wonder if he got I wonder if he got the bonus. I don't know if he got it, but I like him. I like that. That was beautiful. Great job. Great fight too, because Lee was no slouch. Great fight, but he was able to go in there and make it look
Yeah.
easy. And so I
Okay, all right, matchmaker. So if you're a guy like Dana White, like how do you build this dude? I think with a guy like Prates, I think you give him three more fights, allow people to get to know him a little bit more, and then start cracking him into potentially the top 15 after those 3 fights, because you wanna make sure that these guys get a UFC experience. There's different between fighting elsewhere and then fighting the actual UFC, like the comfort level. And I think there's a good 3 fights, and then you crack him into the top 15, and then see what he can do from there. But the dude is dangerous with the hands. But again, Kamaru, I want to see, does he have is he the full package? We know he could strike, but how good is his grappling, and particularly his wrestling and his ability to get the hell up from the
I like
cage.
what he said at the end too. When he gets on the mic, he said, "Yes," and it seemed like he was trolling a little bit. He said, "Yes, UFC, give me one more easy fight." It seemed like he was trolling. He said, "I want one more easy fight." That I believe he said maybe on to the top 15 or a ranked guy. But it seems like he understands. He knows that let me get experience in here, and of course, let me make a little bread. Because if I'm making him look like
Yeah,
that, I like that. I'm
yeah, and you know what, Kamaru? He reminds me a lot like Ricardo Mayorga. Remember Ricardo Mayorga? He used to fight, he used to drink, smoke cigarettes. I mean, this dude, like like
yes,
like Carlos Prata, he's the
he
type of dude
does
that
kind
will
of look
literally
like him. He
legit.
does kind of look like him.
And it's not an act, dude. Like he will literally smoke a cigarette, like pre-workout, after workout, because that's just who he is. He's happy, he's confident, and I think people are going to be able to relate to him. And like I said, man, I think if he does continue to keep winning, he's going to be a superstar in the making.
I agree. I agree. Lots of good fights on the card. In the prelims as well. You got Walker, Johnny Walker's brother, was able to get a decision. Get a submission win. You had Ricardo Ramos, another fight in there where this guy was compromised severely, but he was still able to pull off the victory, the split decision win over Josh Cooleybow. You had Casey O'Neill, who went out there and put it on the Brazilian princess, Luana Santos, that they were building. I mean, she gets a win. She does the little dance. But Casey O'Neill said, none of that. Nah, I'm here at home in
Yeah,
Aussie, and I'm not doing that. And Casey O'Neill, I mean, just good chick surprise. I like Casey O'Neill. I like this girl.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
ready to scrap each and every single time when she steps in there, and she put on a
yeah.
fantastic performance. And so I like Kate. She looked very improved. Her grappling
Yeah.
exchanges, her stand up was just superior. So
Well, you know where she's training, right, Kamar? She's training at Fight Ready now. She's been able to have Angel, my brother, be able to coach her on the
way to
grappling.
plug
Santino
yourself,
DeFranco,
Jesus.
Santino DeFranco, Eddie Cha. No, I don't work with her. I don't think I've ever
No,
spoken
no,
to
no.
her. But
Y'all,
she's got the right. She's at the right place, man. She's at the right place because she's getting that right attention, and they're able to adjust. And I text one of my coaches yesterday, Eddie Cha. I'm like, dude, she just put the brakes. I mean, they're trying, like you said, they're trying to build Santos, but you can tell Santos is still inexperienced because Casey O'Neill brought the pressure, brought the level changes, and she was able to counter a lot of the judo throws that she was trying to do. Casey O'Neill, if she continues to keep fighting like this, I can see her being a title contender in the near
I co-
future, sooner rather
I
than later.
completely agree. I completely agree. And yeah, that you are right, Henry. They over there at Fight Ready, they got her completely ready, and she looked amazing from start to finish. She looked incredible. So hats off to Casey O'Neill and putting on a fantastic performance. And was I wrong about this opening fight in the prelims? Herbert Burns taking on Jack Jenkins, and Jack Jenkins looked like a guy with a bright future. I'll tell you that. He went in there and he put it on Herbert Burns from start. He put it on him. Combination was great, and where I felt that Herbert Burns would have the big advantage if he's able to get the fight there and really get that sense of urgency is in the grappling exchange. But he got the fight there, but there was really no sense of urgency. It was more like he just wanted to hold on and kind of clear the cobwebs from the shots that he's been taking. But Jack Jenkins was able to get back up and able to find the finish. It was a fantastic one. A phenomenal performance for Jack Jenkins, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, either way, UFC 305, it was good from top to
It
bottom.
was.
I think I think some of the judging was completely suspect, and I think I think there should be suspensions, and particularly that guy that gave Tai Tuivasa. And
Which guy?
I was going for Tai. I was going for Tai, but I also want to be fair. And as we're pulling up the damn scorecards, Kamaru, Usman, now you can see. Now start bending the knee right now because you know who your king is, and that's right. That's King Triple C. I was, three out of the five I got correct. For you, you got two out of the five.
First of all,
So you're welcome.
let's first of all, let's just talk about how I don't know who I'm starting to get suspicious here, Underdog. I don't know who's doing the research here, but y'all doing a hell of a job with this research here. Look at Adesanya. Landed 97 significant strikes, and the pick was I believe 95 or 92.
92.
92.5. Like what? Where?
Yeah.
And not
Good.
just
I love it.
and not just that. Look at what other fight was it? Tai Tuivasa. The Tuivasa fight. Significant strikes. Over 16 and a half. And this one was really close. It was really close. There was a couple of times where this one could have ended. And I believe when he had about 13 strike, maybe in the third round, this fight could have ended. And I'm just like, wow. Whoever the Underdog guys are here, they doing their research. And you can see, obviously, in the Gamrot, and that top one, the one all the way at the top, he 4 or over, and he gets approximately 4 takedowns. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Underdog, I see what y'all doing here. Y'all doing your homework.
Yeah.
So you know what? We need to do a little bit more research, Henry, and we're going to make sure next time
Shit, I have
we
been.
ready.
I have been. I got sick of losing, dude. And I kind of, this is all based on stats. And how good do you really know mixed martial arts, dude? So, I could have gone 4 for 5, which would have been, really big money. But it's what it is, man. I got close with Dricus, going for that fifth takedown. And then obviously, the biggest upset to me of the night was Kai Kara France knocking out Steve Ercig. So overall, I'm happy. And like I said, Kamaru, bend the knee because I am the king, King Triple C.
Listen, let me tell you something, Henry. There will be more L's in the future. For right now, let's give a big shout out to our partners at Underdog Fantasy Sports, the absolute best place to play fantasy sports. The pickup game is as easy as choosing higher or lower on a variety of fighter stats like significant strikes, knockouts, takedowns, and fight time.
Yeah, and like always, guys, all new users sign up for code P4P will receive up to $250 in bonus cash and a pick'em special. Underdog is available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, Arizona, and Florida. Support the show and click the link below to get started.
Oh, man, Henry, you know what I said? There will be more L's in the future. So don't get too happy because you were able to inch by me on this one. But there will be more. And hopefully we can get the middleweight champion of the world, Dricus Du Plessis, to come and have a conversation with us because there needs to be ultimate respect put on this man's name. He's done so much work to get to where he is. He put on a fantastic performance last night, and we got to give props to that. But for now, Henry, I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
Man, we are out.